creature.
The hell was that? Swazula, you toothpick legs, how the hell are ya? Okay, so Nidus Prime was released not long ago and I was playing around with him, and aside the fact that Nidus Prime is just a mild reskin of the regular Nidus, I did however find a new build that I very much like and very much want to share with you guys, which is exactly what you're seeing in the background right now. Now, I would describe this build as the new player budget-friendly God Nidus build. Now, just because this build requires 0 forma does not mean that it is bad. In fact, as you guys know, Nidus has always been an absolute monster. Naturally, that wouldn't change just because his Prime was released, especially since DE didn't even touch him at all, which is totally fine. Nidus is one of those frames where I don't think that he actually needs any touching any damn way. So, you probably also know my original Nidus from my How to Not Be a Shit Nidus video has 4 or 5 forma on it even. I went with that many forma because I kind of wanted to have that kind of a beast build. Nidus's overall design is just over the top, so I wanted to have an over the top build, and Nidus scales really well off of strength. If you have ability strength, if you don't know what to invest all of your power into, everything that Nidus does benefits from ability strength. But since then, that video is like, what, 3 years old now or something? 2 years old, whatever. A lot has changed. New mods have been introduced, new ideas, new things, and of course Nidus Prime has his own already pre-installed formas, essentially. A dash, a D polarity, and a V polarity. So what can this build do? Well, this build can take on Steel Path with ease. It's a complete snore fest, which Nidus can do even by himself without much help anyways, but if you have some kind of a build on him, then it's definitely going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be really easy for you to completely conquer and dominate Steel Path enemies. With this build, you can also one-shot acolytes as if they weren't even there. So this is really good. And a tip before I show you guys the build specifically is with Nidus has a fundamental flaw built into his overall design, and that's not much of a big deal until you're really going up against high level enemies and you're not really good at not taking damage. General rule of thumb, if you want to become a more durable, more effective Nidus, is if you're dropping strength or armor or anything that helps him survive, you have to increase his range. It's either a lot of strength or a lot of built-in mods toward durability and a little bit less range, or you increase the range and therefore free up some space by removing maybe a little bit of power. Okay, that's basically what you need to keep in mind, because you don't need both. Either one of them will carry Nidus. Range will carry Nidus for much longer, because last time I checked, enemies that can't inflict damage to you also can't kill you, which effectively makes you a god. But that's just a little free side tip. Here is the build. Let's have us a look-see. So I left Steel Charge in here because it just happens to fit. You could put in here whatever you want. Just keep in mind you will need a forma. As you can see, no formas in here. Now, the main thing about this build, the absolute main thing is none of this here really matters all that much. You can change this to whatever liking you want. What is important is Teeming Virulence and Arcane Avenger. These two installments here do the same thing. Arcane Avenger gives you more crit chance, and Teeming Virulence also gives you more crit chance if you hit 4 enemies at least with your first ability. Also, if you look at the stats really carefully at the very bottom, you will see Teeming Virulence stats crit chance is 256% instead of the stated 120% over here. Why is that? Well, Teeming Virulence's grant of extra crit scales with your strength. So having some strength on here will actually just make Teeming Virulence even stronger. If you don't have Arcane Avenger, then that's okay, then you might want to put a little bit of more power in here. Like I said, maybe you want to get rid of, oh, I don't know, primed flow and put on a regular flow or something like that, or no flow at all and just put in some strength instead or something and move stretch down here, or remove stretch and put strength in its place instead. You can play around with that whatever you want. Just know Teeming Virulence gives you more crit chance, Arcane Avenger gives you more crit chance, and Teeming Virulence will scale with ability Strength. Now, this build is also a little bit outrageous, but again, these are the only two that matter. If you're using Teeming Virulence, you might as well use Avenger. You can use whatever you want, or if you don't have it, you can do whatever option I just gave you. But basically, this here is the base of the build. The rest is completely up to your own personal style. I like this build, however, because everything works really, really well together. You got Blind Rage in here, which reduces the ability efficiency. Nidus is one of the frames that does not need to give two shits about efficiency. He has no shield, which means every single drop of damage that he takes will trigger Hunter Adrenaline, and Hunter Adrenaline will help keep your energy up all the time forever. And just in case you need to spam a little bit more, since the man is a little spammy, a little bit of primed flow just to have a little bit more energy. But again, you really do not absolutely need this. You actually you don't even need this at all. You can remove this entirely because half of his abilities don't even use energy to be cast. Haha, right? Like these two. Okay, so he's a really, really cheap frame. You don't need to have this in here. I guess I just have it in there for convenience, but as you can see in the footage in the background, this build works perfectly fine. I actually had a lot of fun using this here against Steel Path because it was just hilarious how bad they were struggling to hurt me and they just couldn't touch me. And I was one-shotting the acolytes like they weren't even there, which was also really, really hilarious to me. So anyways, I figured I'd share this with you guys right quick since Nidus Prime is a thing now, and I'm sure many of you are probably still farming him and maybe thinking about, okay, what am I going to do with him? How am I going to build him? Here you go. A budget, true god build that you can tweak however you want. One way or another, Nidus is a monster. Nidus will be extremely effective. If you don't like this build, then try whatever you want, as long as you don't make a Shield Gate Inaros or Shield Gate Nidus, we're gonna be okay. We can remain friends, maybe. Alright, well, there you have it. The next video that I'm going to upload is probably going to be my absolutely insane, crazy Ureli build. Yes, you heard correctly. I found a way to make her really, really weird and play very, very oddly, and for some reason it works. So yeah, prepare to be flabbergasted. Alright guys, I'll catch y'all in the next video or on one of my streams, either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or I'll catch you on the Discord server, or on my Instagram, or on my Twitter, or wherever else you happen to cross paths with me. All that shit is down in the description below. Have a look-see if you wanna. And I'll see you then. Stay healthy and safe. And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe to this shitty channel, and fuck off.